Congratulations, you exist. You didn't ask for this, but here you are, a barely functioning speck called a planula, drifting through the ocean with zero control over where you're going. Your mission? Find a rock, a shell, or some other solid surface before something eats you. If you're lucky, you stick to a safe spot. If not, well, you just became a quick snack for a passing fish. Life expectancy so far? Maybe a few hours. Let's assume you survived and successfully attached yourself to something. Now you're a polyp, and your life consists of sitting in one place like a weird underwater plant. You don't move, you don't think, not that you ever could, and you spend your days catching tiny plankton in the water. If you're feeling particularly ambitious, you might start cloning yourself. That's right, you don't even get to have a unique existence. You just copy yourself over and over again, an endless army of tiny, mindless versions of you. Some polyps never bother growing up, choosing instead to stay in their glued-down state forever. Others, after months or even years, finally decide to break off into tiny, disc-like ephyrae. This is as close to puberty as you're going to get. Now things start to get interesting. As an ephora, you develop into what people recognize as a jellyfish, tentacles, pulsating bell, and that signature lack of a brain. You don't have eyes, ears, or anything resembling a central nervous system, but you do have stinging cells, and that's what matters. These cells, called nematocysts, are tiny biological harpoons that fire venom into anything unlucky enough to brush against you. Your diet consists of whatever drifts into your tentacles, plankton, fish larvae, sometimes even other jellyfish. You don't chase prey because, well, you literally can't. You just float and hope food happens to bump into you. It's like playing the world's most boring lottery every single day. But just because you have venom doesn't mean you're safe. A lot of things would love to eat you. Sea turtles consider you a delicacy, as do some large fish, seabirds, and even humans, because, apparently, there's no creature too weird for people to deep fry. And let's not forget one of your biggest natural enemies, the ocean itself. Strong currents can toss you onto the shore, where you'll dry up and die in the most undignified way possible, a lifeless, gelatinous blob melting under the sun. And why do jellyfish get stranded on beaches in the first place? Simple, they're at the mercy of the ocean, and the ocean is a terrible chauffeur. Changes in tides, storms, strong winds, and even their own mindless swarming behavior can lead to mass beachings. Sometimes, a bloom of jellyfish gets caught in a shallow area with no escape route. Other times, human activities like overfishing remove their predators, causing a jellyfish population explosion. Too many aimless blobs in one area means some are bound to end up stranded. And once you're out of the water, game over. Your fragile, water-filled body can't handle dry land. Within hours, you're nothing more than a deflated, gooey mess. If you make it to adulthood, you've beaten the odds. You now drift wherever the ocean takes you, pulsing rhythmically, a floating hazard to anything that comes too close. Despite lacking a brain, you do have a crude sense of direction thanks to simple light-sensitive organs called ocelli. These let you tell the difference between up and down, barely. Not that it matters much, since you're still completely at the mercy of the currents. Your life is essentially a slow-motion tumbleweed, just wetter. You're not a social creature. You don't form friendships or bonds of any kind. You don't even acknowledge the existence of other jellyfish unless it's time to reproduce, which, brace yourself, is as unromantic as it gets. Some species just release their eggs into the water and hope they turn into babies. Others have a slightly more complicated way. The males pass special capsules to the females, who then carry the babies in their mouths until they let them out. That's right, your first moments as a baby jellyfish involve being unceremoniously ejected from someone's mouth. Of course, at some point, you'll probably have a run-in with humans, and that usually doesn't end well for either party. Maybe you'll drift into a swimmer's leg, delivering an accidental but excruciating sting. Maybe you'll get scooped up by a fishing net and tossed aside like an unwanted bonus catch. Humans might not think about jellyfish much, but when they do, it's usually because you've ruined their beach day or given them a nasty welt. And then there's aging, which, depending on your species, can range from a few weeks to several years. But if you're Turritopsis dohrnii, congratulations, you never have to die. Instead of aging like a normal creature, you can revert your cells back to a polyp state and start life over again. This sounds amazing until you realize it means an eternity of repeating the same monotonous, drifting existence with no escape. Eventually, though, most jellyfish meet an unceremonious end, eaten, stranded, or just slowly deteriorating until they fall apart. And that's it. No legacy, no grand finale, just dissolution into the same ocean that carried you your entire life. Being a jellyfish? Not as effortless as it looks.